You know, here in Mississippi, we have a lot of museums and archives, and you'll find them housed in anything from government buildings to, well, I know of one in a railroad boxcar. But a lot of them are on the campuses of our public universities, and that's where we are today. On the campus of the University of Southern Mississippi in Hattiesburg, where you'll find the McCain Library, which houses the collections and archives of USM, one of which is the subject of our first story. It's the deGrummond Children's Literature Collection. And by the time we get through exploring it, I think you'll agree with me that the University of Southern Mississippi holds in trust the stories of our childhood.
Oh, the deGrummond Collection is awesome. Just being able to go in and look at works of like Ezra Jack Keats and other authors, their drawings, their notes, the Curious George collection, being able to do study and research, especially important for students who are in library science school. Just getting to do that, and like I said, we've had people to come from England and just all over the world just to look at that collection, and we have authors steadily donating and giving items to that. So it's just amazing.
The deGrummond is an amazing collection. To be able to see the history of children's books and children's literature and to see how it has grown through the years. And it shows just the journey of children's literature and the impact that it can have on children.
The deGrummond Collection is an archive, plain and simply. It's an archive of over 1,300 authors and illustrators' works. It was founded in 1966 when Dr. Lena Y. deGrummond came to the university to teach children's literature. She began writing her friends in the publishing world, different authors and illustrators, some she knew, some she didn't know, and asked them to contribute bits and pieces of their work to her little children's collection that she was starting. As the year progressed, she saw that they were receiving an enormous response to her request, and the head librarian at the time decided they needed to have a venue where these materials that people were sending could be offered to a public viewing. So they decided to have a children's book festival. This year is particularly thrilling because Dav Pilkey is the author of Captain Underpants, and he is winning the medallion. He has agreed to give a presentation to local school children, and we are thrilled with his generosity and with his commitment to reaching children in the best way he can. He's also going to make sure that every child has a book in his or her hand when they leave his presentation.
Guess what I get to say? You get a book, you get a book, you get a book, you get a book, you get a book. Everybody gets a book.
You know, I think reading for fun is incredibly important because there have been so many studies that show that kids who read for entertainment do better in school. They do better in spelling, vocabulary, and math. Across the board, they just get smarter and smarter.
Literature plays a valuable role in the lives of children. Ezra Jack Keats, whose papers we have in the deGrummond Collection, whose original art we have, was the creator of a very famous book, The Snowy Day.
Originally, Harvard wanted his papers. And actually, it was the first time Harvard had ever requested the papers of a children's book writer. But they wanted to cherry pick. They wanted to pick out the pieces of memorabilia and papers that they felt were important and discard the rest. And that wasn't acceptable to us. People often ask us, why? Why are Ezra's papers in Mississippi? And the reasons are actually quite simple. The deGrummond is one of the premier collections of children's literature in this country. That's one really good reason. And another is that in 1980, Ezra received the USM Silver Medallion for a Lifetime Achievement. And he came down and he immediately felt at home. He felt at home, he felt embraced, he felt understood. He made friends, and he understood that this would be a wonderful place for some of his artwork. But it wasn't until he died and it came time to find a home for his papers that the decision to make it the deGrummond happened. Children's literature is much more important than I believe it is understood to be. I feel that it's becoming more and more appreciated. But it is how we teach our children, and how we teach our children governs who they become.
Did you get it? Very good.
Thanks for joining us. If you like what you see, subscribe to Mississippi Public Broadcasting. Till next time, I'll be seeing you on Mississippi Roads.